వీడియో ఇలా పెడతాను. వీడియో అయితే నేను క్లాస్ చెప్పను. గుడ్ మార్నింగ్ అమ్మా. గుడ్ మార్నింగ్ వన్ అండ్ ఆల్. And welcome to Oceanapps Technologies, especially for long-term internship program. The first internship is basic web development applications. Basic web development. So initially, what is web and what is web app? There are different types of applications are available. Web applications, mobile applications, hybrid applications, and desktop applications, cross-platform applications, and so on. Among all these, we are concentrating only on web app development. Again, web app development is divided into two parts: static website development and dynamic web app development. To provide any look and feel feature to any website, CSS required. And fourth module, JavaScript to provide dynamic behavior for any website. For example, if you want to change font while viewing or displaying a content of a web page, when you click font size, automatically the entire page font must be changed automatically. So to provide such features, we have to apply JavaScript concept. So without JavaScript, there is no concept of dynamic behavior for any website. So to provide dynamic behavior for any website, JavaScript language is required. So you have to learn HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to develop any website, any basic website that is related to static website. If you apply JavaScript code, the website may be converted into dynamic behavior website. It's not dynamic website, dynamic behavior website. When you apply backend and server to access data from server side and display the data according to your requirement, that is purely dynamic website. For the purpose, you have to learn backend coding and backend database. In this internship, there is no concept or explanation of backend coding and backend database. Only front-end website design with the dynamic behavior by using JavaScript. The fourth module related to JavaScript concepts. And fifth one, instead of CSS and instead of developing our own style, sometimes we are using dynamic styles, already existing styles, already pre-designed styles. Such pre-designed styles with the help of CSS can be provided through CSS frameworks. The powerful CSS frameworks are Bootstrap and Tailwind CSS. Let us discuss about Bootstrap 5.x. Bootstrap 4, 3, and 4.x mainly based on jQuery. jQuery is a JavaScript library, but Bootstrap 5.x is mainly based on pure JavaScript. No need to apply any jQuery functionality. Alternative to Bootstrap 5.x, we can use Tailwind CSS, very popular CSS, Tailwind CSS. Here, Tailwind CSS is mainly based on activity, activity-based style sheet. Similarly, Bootstrap 5 also activity-based style sheets. So these are all 5 modules may be covered in this workshop, in this small basic web development internship program. After that, after completion of this course, advanced web development concepts, another workshop, another internship. In that, React.js or AngularJS or Vue.js and MongoDB and Express.js or any backend coding, either Java, Spring Boot, or simple PHP or something. The first case related to static website design, first internship, and the second case, that is second internship, related to advanced topics like React.js or AngularJS or Vue.js, anyone, and Node.js with Express.js or Node.js with Express.js or PHP or Java Spring Boot. These all comes under full stack development concepts. So finally, ultimate goal of any software developer to learn full stack development concepts. So before practicing full stack development concepts, fundamental requirements are HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and one Bootstrap CSS framework, Bootstrap or Tailwind CSS. So during this internship program, we are concentrating on 5 interrelated concepts: HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap, and one small project, static website project. These are all 5 modules related to this internship program. now comes under topics. Here, web development topics. First of all, what is web development or website development or web app development? Web app, website, web is the process of creating, developing, deploying, and maintaining websites or web applications or simply web apps. Those applications must be accessed through internet. Those applications must be available online. So to run any web application, internet is required and one browser is required. That browser is called client application. Browser is client application. To provide services according to the browser requirements, servers are required. Such servers are called web servers. Web server, web browser, server, client. These are all major concepts involved in web development. Here, web development may be static web development or dynamic web development. Static website requires only browser. That means it's client. But dynamic web app requires a browser as a client and a server in terms of database server and web server. These are all comes under web development concepts. I will explain in detail in further classes. Now, types of web applications, web development, front-end development, that is client side, back-end development, server side. By combination of these two, full stack development. Here, front-end development mainly concentrated on only user interface, user design by using HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and any CSS framework like Bootstrap. The backend development requires backend code and backend database. Backend code purpose establish a communication between front-end and a backend database server. The responsibility of database server is to maintain our data supplied by the or transferred by the browser. That is client. At the same time, according to the request of the client, the web server sends request to the database server. Database servers process data by using database tables and database environment and provide responsive output back to the client through web server. So meanwhile, to data to transfer data from browser to server, intermediate code is required. That is backend code. Example PHP, Java Spring Boot, or Express.js, Node.js with Express.js, or any other technology. ASP.NET, Microsoft Technologies, .NET Technologies, the C# code, Ruby on Rails, any backend coding technology. So to develop backend, front-end technologies required. At the same time, backend technologies like programming and backend databases like MySQL, Oracle, or some other databases required. At the same time, if you are planning to develop any web application by using front-end as well as backend, some powerful frameworks also required. For Python, Django framework is required. For Node.js, Express with Node.js. For PHP, Laravel framework, popular framework for PHP programming language. So if you want to develop large scale applications, large scale web app development projects, it's better to select appropriate frameworks. Without framework, no need to plan to develop any web application, any website. For Python, powerful framework is Django framework or Flask, lightweight framework Flask. These two frameworks are popular frameworks for Python, PHP Laravel, Java Spring Boot, present market in market presently used frameworks like this. The combination of front and back end developments is referred to as full stack development. There are different types of stacks are available: manual stack, YAML stack, Java related stacks, etc. Now, second concept, types of applications: web app, mobile app, desktop, and so on. As we discussed earlier, that is web application, especially it is a software or it is an application, especially that can be executed by the web browser. No need to install any web application in our system or mobile. Browser is a Java enabled browsers required. Java enabled browsers required to develop any type of web application, and one browser is enough. So to develop web applications, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and backend related technologies like PHP coding purpose, or Java coding purpose, or Express.js coding purpose, and databases. Example web applications: Gmail, one web application; Google Docs, one web application; Netflix, one type of web application, and many more. Mobile apps, another type of application category, mobile app. In mobile app, there are three types of apps: native mobile app, hybrid mobile app, and PWA mobile app. PWA, it's not mobile. Any website is developed like PWA that can be treated as web app as well as mobile app, progressive web apps. So first category of mobile app is native app, especially targeted on only specific one operating system. Android OS, based on Android OS, if any application is developed, that is one native app for Android. That is hardware and corresponding operating system bound. That means once any app is developed by using Android environment, the app cannot be worked on another, that is iOS or Windows, some other environment won't work. That is native app purely based on hardware and configuration of the operating system of particular device. That is native app. For example, to develop iOS app, Swift language is required or Object C language is required. Either Swift or Object C language for Apple apps. Similarly, to develop Android apps, Java or Kotlin. Right now we are using Kotlin instead of Java. For a Windows app, we are using some other languages. Example, native app, WhatsApp native app, Bluetooth native app, TikTok native app, all other daily routine. Presently, we are using most of the mobile apps related to native apps. One more point here is native app is directly associated with components or devices of the mobile or device. That is camera, players, sensors, the Android related sensors, especially operated by Android app only. So such apps are simply called as native apps. And the second, another type of mobile app is hybrid app, cross-platform, cross-platform app. We are planning to develop native app. We need three developer teams for Android, for Windows, for Apple, iOS, Mac environment. But we have only one team and planning to develop one app. That app must be executed or processed by all different platforms. whether Android or iOS or Windows. At that moment of time, according to our requirement, we have to develop hybrid app. The hybrid app is just like cross-platform app. Only one code base, one common code base. Development code base is only one code base. That code base can be used by any environment, any hardware configuration of different devices, cross-platform applications. So for that, React Native is the powerful and perfect cross-platform hybrid app development tool. React Native. Second one is popular one, Flutter. Ionic framework, powerful framework, very large and huge powerful framework is Ionic framework. And especially if you want to develop Windows environment, to develop any project, any app under Windows environment, but that app must be executed and processed by different devices. Then you have to go for Xamarin, Microsoft Environment Cross-Platform Tool. By using Xamarin tool, we can develop any mobile app that can be used by, that can be processed by, executed by any device, irrespective of operating system, irrespective of any mobile. So these are all different tools. React Native framework, Flutter language, Ionic framework, Xamarin framework. Among all these four are some other jQuery mobile. Before React.js and Ionic, jQuery mobile is one type of framework that provides hybrid app facility, hybrid app features. Now outdated, of course. Most of the companies prefers React for web development and React Native for cross-platform mobile app development. So combination of React Native and JS is a best combination, powerful combination to develop web application as well as mobile application. Example hybrid apps, Instagram, Uber, there are several apps are available. And third category of mobile related app, mobile first app. PWA app is sometimes referred to as mobile first app. Basically, it is website, it is web application. In that web application, we can provide a simple feature, small download feature. Once web application is opened with the help of web browser and a small feature is available, by using that feature, download that app. Then automatically, entire web app can be converted into mobile app and installed into our mobile. Next time onwards, for the subsequent time periods, no need to open that website through browser. Just click your icon already installed in your mobile device and automatically opens that app. That is basically, it is web application. That web application can be automatically converted into mobile app. The main purpose of PWA, progressive web app purpose, no need to maintain App Store, Google Play Store, and Windows Store. No need to maintain our app in any store. Just first time, browser is required, type URL, open website, and download app. One icon and one app is installed in our system. That app is used any number of times. Another facility is it works like offline device, offline mobile component in our device, or online. If internet is available, the same app can be worked as online app. So presently, most of the companies are planning to develop progressive web apps. So it provides both features as already discussed, that is web application and mobile application, progressive web apps. When you observe all these, according to our requirement, Still, we can develop native apps. Still, we can use development of hybrid apps or go for progressive web apps. If you have different teams for Android, iOS, or some other Windows, then absolutely go for native app development. When you apply hybrid, some of the features of mobiles may be work, may not be work, may be accessed, may not be accessed. That is uniform development can be provided through web app. Similarly, progressive web apps access basic features of the mobile, unable to access hardware level features, hardware level components, hardware related sensors. So major drawback of PW is unable to access all device components of the mobile, but it works like a small app, mobile app. For
Sir, now
example,
which type of apps we will build, sir, now for in this web development?
based on our internship concepts, only static website according to requirements of the basic web development.
Static means, sir.
But
Yes, sir. What is meant by static, sir?
all comes under these are comes under second
Sir, your voice is
concept.
not not clear, sir.
Second is mobile app development. Developed. The content or look and feel cannot be changed. Content is fixed. Content is static. Look and feel is static. At the time of the content is designed, the same designed content can be displayed for any user. While displaying the content, the user or client unable to change font, style, color, look and feel. That is static website. Whereas in dynamic website, website is designed while displaying website. If you want to increase the font, you can increase the font. If you want to change the color, you can change the color. If you want to change the language, you can change the language, Telugu to English, English to some other language. So dynamic behavior, there is no concept of dynamic behavior in static websites, unable to change look and feel and style, font, that is. And one more dynamic website means dynamically can access data from server side. Suppose you have given your roll number. Based on your roll number, you if you want to fetch your result, so based on your roll number, the roll number can be transferred to server. Server process your roll number request and fetch your related result or output and return back to your browser. This is also one type of dynamic website. Interaction between user and server and database server. Whereas in static website, there is no interaction. Only content which is already designed that can be displayed without change, without user interaction change.
Sir,
So to
can you
develop
give the
static websites, pardon,
sir, can you give the example like a website, any website, what we are using, like static website and
for example,
in our
you have one
e-commerce
company,
website?
e-commerce websites are not static websites because of when you select particular product, then automatically the system or website gives product related information. Suppose in e-commerce website, all details are displayed without user interaction. That is static website. When you select a particular product related information can be fetched from backend server and displayed to our browser, displayed in our environment in terms of browser. So that is dynamic. For example, you have one company. If you want to show your company details, that's all. That is static website. You have one company and you have to display some information according to browsing, according to drop down list. So whenever any user wants to select a particular item, the related items must be displayed. That is our requirement. According to that requirement, you have designed your website. That is dynamic behavior website. Dynamic website. So to
So,
design static website, HTML, CSS, and little bit JavaScript, and one CSS framework, either Bootstrap or Tailwind CSS. These are four concepts required to develop any website. After that, website design tools are available. That is another concept. So here I am explaining only mobile apps, native mobile app, hybrid mobile app, and PWA mobile app, PWA web app, and mobile app. So based on our requirement, you have to select corresponding development process. Similarly, based on our requirement, you have to select a static website design, a dynamic behavior design, a dynamic website. Just the content must be displayed to the user. Static design. According to user requirement, content must be changed. Dynamic website. According to user look and feel, like font, style, language. That is dynamic behavior of the website. Dynamic behavior of the website. Dynamic website is different from dynamic behavior website. Dynamic website requires full stack development. Dynamic behavior website requires up to JavaScript. So among these, presently, most of the companies prefers to develop progressive web apps because of it works like web applications as well as mobile applications. Desktop applications already familiar with MS Word, Excel, antivirus softwares, installed antivirus softwares. These are all comes under desktop applications, especially related to particular operating system. Windows desktop, Mac desktop, Linux environment system applications. A simple comparison of web apps, Google Docs, especially request browser-based. Internet is required. Canva, powerful graphics design tool, open source graphics design tool, mobile apps, example WhatsApp, native, mainly based on iOS or Android, installed on device that is requirement. Hybrid apps, cross-platform, only one code base that can be used by any operating system, any device. So here web development concept, basic terminology of web development concept, front end, back end coding, back end database. What is front end? Front end is an application. Front end is a software. Front end is a tool that provides some facilities to the user. Here user means client. In our environment, client just like browser. That is front end application interact with user through browser, where browser is a client. Browser is a client. So sometimes front end application referred to as a client side application. client-side development tool. To run front-end application, browser is required. Without browser, there is no chance to access front-end application. Purpose of front-end, it provides user interaction. It provides a facility that is user interaction facility. Backend. Backend can be classified into two parts, backend programming and backend database. So backend is generally referred to as server side. Server side. Here server means normal means server is a system. Server is a system. But here server is web server and database server. Web server is a software. Database server is also software. DBMS, database management system, software. Web server is a software. But server is a system. When you think about server, think about physical component, physical device, system, computer. When you think about backend development, that is web server. Web server is a software. It receives requests from a browser. It receives a request from a browser, process that request, and send that request to the database server if required, and receives response from the database server and return back that response to client
Sir, one second,
browser.
explain backend, sir. Backend.
Frontend is an application that provides a facility to interact with user. Front-end application can be accessed with the help of browser. That is web browser. So web browser is a software tool. It browses data in terms of front-end application. And web browser sends request to the web server. Web browser send request of the user to the web server. Here web server is one backend and database server is also backend. So web server, database server, these two concepts comes under backend layer. Backend layer. The first backend layer subpart is web server. The web server is also one type of backend layer. It receives request from web browser and provides response, any response written by the database server written back to web browser. That is, web server is an intermediate server between web browser and database server. It provides an interaction. It provides a layer between web browser and the web server. Example web servers, Apache web server, Apache web server, open source web server, Apache web server. In Microsoft environment, IIS web server, popular web servers, Apache web server, open source, and Windows environment, Windows platform, IIS servers. So Apache server is a web server. It receives request from browser and send request to the database server. Database server examples, Oracle database server, MySQL database server, and other related database servers. The backend requires web server and a database server. The purpose of web server to process server-side code according to the client request. To process server-side code, web server is required, and server-side code examples are PHP server-side code, C# is server-side code, Spring Boot server-side code, Java Spring Boot server-side code, Servlets server-side code Java, JSP server-side code. Similarly, JavaScript also server-side. Normally, JavaScript client-side. JavaScript program can be executed by the browser. but that with the help of Node.js server, JavaScript programs can be executed by the server. So backend related to web server, database server. Web server example, Apache web servers, Tomcat web server. Database server examples are Oracle, MySQL, MS SQL Server, and so on. Do we have any doubt? Clear?
Sir, only JavaScript coding is enough for the developing these apps.
Right now, when you apply Node.js with JavaScript by using Express.js combination, that is enough to develop any web application. JavaScript is a powerful tool right now, power tool language for client side as well as server side. Very
Sir,
popular language.
Node.js comes under backend, na sir?
Node.js is a server to run JavaScript programs. Without Node.js, JavaScript programs can be processed by the browser, client-side programs. Pvt Technologies PHP program cannot be directly processed by the browser. To process PHP code, compulsory web server is required. Web server, Jump web server, example, web server Jump. In the Jump environment, Apache web server, Jump environment. Similarly, to run any JavaScript program like server side that can be used by many users, many clients. Then you have to use Node.js environment, Node.js server. So Node.js, JavaScript, React.js, and Express.js. By using these four, you can develop dynamic websites also. And one database, either MongoDB or MySQL or Oracle. Main concentration, if you concentrate only on JavaScript, the JavaScript is related to AngularJS, React.js, Vue.js, Next.js, Next.js, Init.js, Express.js. So all these JS technologies are associated with JavaScript. As a web app developer, fundamental requirement to learn JavaScript. Without JavaScript, there is no development of web app. If we learn JavaScript, we can develop any type of application, React-based application, Angular-based application, Vue-based application, Express.js based application. JavaScript may be related to TypeScript or vanilla JavaScript or ECMA JavaScript. Different JavaScript flavors are there, but all JavaScripts are associated with ECMA JavaScript, standard JavaScript. So initially, it's better to practice at least 40 to 50 hours of JavaScript code and go for React.js or AngularJS or Vue.js. Without JavaScript, no need to learn any React.js or AngularJS. No need to learn. Learn JavaScript and you have to learn remaining JavaScript libraries or frameworks.
Sir, difference between React.js, AngularJS with JavaScript, sir.
React.js is library, but AngularJS is framework. React.js is only library. AngularJS is framework.
Sir, framework means only front end, na sir?
Front-end design. Library is also front-end. React is front-end design. Angular is front-end design with back-end functionality. With a back-end functionality. For your doubt, suppose we are planning to develop one application using React.js. That React.js applications can be executed by the Node.js, like backend. It also includes Bootstrap 5 or Bootstrap, any version of Bootstrap or Tailwind CSS or your customer CSS styles also with HTML. So these CSS style sheets with HTML provides front-end look. The code can be executed by the Node.js server. That is backend feature. Basically, React.js is front-end with backend functionality. Distinguish here 2 points. Backend functionality related to front-end and backend functionality related to database. There is no concept of database. Avoid database concept. But apply Node.js with React.js, maintain one server and execute that code. That code can be used by number of client browsers, number of systems, number of users can able to access one common code base. Without Node.js, if any application is developed using JavaScript, the JavaScript are independent. JavaScript codes are blocks are independent for each and every client, each and every browser. Suppose 10 users are there. 10 users wants to access particular application. You have developed one application using JavaScript, HTML, Bootstrap. There is no sharing of feature. There is no feature sharing. You have to distribute all complete code to all 10 users. When you apply Node.js with JavaScript code with HTML, Bootstrap, instead of distributing all complete code to all users, you can maintain that complete code in one environment under the control of Node.js. That Node.js servers our JavaScript code, and according to requirements or requests of different users, 10 users, the responses can be transferred to respective browsers or respective clients. And all these requests can be maintained and controlled by the Node.js. So there are two ways of JavaScript. JavaScript related to client side, JavaScript related to server side. React.js. React.js is just library. You can use React.js as client side. You can use React.js as server side. That is, React.js applications can be executed by the browser directly. React.js applications can be executed with the help of Node.js. So without Node.js, React.js applications can be processed. That is static. Static. To provide static functionality for websites, you can use React.js. To provide dynamic behavior for the websites and the dynamic related websites, the same React.js application can be executed or run by the Node.js server.
Node.js.
Node.js. So clear?
Then AngularJS, sir?
Same concept AngularJS also. But AngularJS is a framework. Or the difference between library framework will explain later.
Okay,
Bootstrap
sir.
is a framework. Bootstrap is a framework. jQuery is a library. React.js is a framework. Angular React.js is a library. Sorry, React.js is a library. Angular is a framework. Vue.js is a framework. So difference between library and framework, that is discussed later. And second concept, backend database, already explained. framework backend code are PHP for Laravel framework, Node.js Express framework, Python Django framework, open source web servers are Apache, Linux, and the proprietary servers are IIS Microsoft. And third one is database. Second component is backend, MySQL, PostgreSQL, SQLite, MS SQL Server, MariaDB, MongoDB. These are all databases. So when you combine all these concepts, then finally comes under full stack development. So to develop any application by using full stack concept, you have to learn front end, back end coding, and a back end database.
Sir, how many days it take to learn coding, sir?
Basic web development requires daily 6 hours, daily 6 hours, 20 days enough. And intermediate web development, that means learn React.js or AngularJS or Vue.js with Node.js concepts. Hardly requires 15 days, daily 6 hours, 15 days. And third, advanced combination of front end and back end with MongoDB, MySQL. The third component requires with one project, 1 month. At most, 3 months per each day, 6 hours. 3 months, within 3 months, we can develop and able to develop powerful website in the form of full stack development. Major concepts are HTML. No need to learn CSS also. Directly you can learn Bootstrap. Bootstrap internally includes all CSS styles. So no need to apply any external CS. And JavaScript is required. React.js is enough. React.js, only basics of React.js. And directly go to implement one application using backend, MongoDB or something. While applying database concepts, data operations required to implement. Insert, delay to update. For that, little bit code is enough. That is Express.js. Express.js provides functionality, backend functionality in terms of React.js or AngularJS. So Express.js is required to execute CRUD operations, insert, delete, update. Express.js can be processed by the Node.js along with React.js. No need to think about each and every stack. Only think about one simple stack. You are already familiar with Python. You can use Python, Django framework, React.js, enough. React.js, Python, and one framework, Flash. You are familiar with Java, Java Spring Boot, React.js, and a database, Oracle or MySQL or something database. That is enough. Right now, most of the companies prefer Microsoft environment technologies instead of open source Microsoft technologies like C Sharp, ASP.NET. In C Sharp, ASP.NET, Microsoft technologies, .NET framework also requires React.js and AngularJS for a
Once,
front-end design.
once repeat, sir.
So instead of open source application development, right now, most of the companies prefers Microsoft technologies. Microsoft technologies, especially .NET framework. .NET framework. .NET framework uses ASP.NET, C#.NET. At the same time, React.js, AngularJS also. So React or Angular common to any technology. For Java only React is used. For PHP requires React.js. There is no such restriction. Always you have to learn React.js upgradation. So that React.js applications can be implemented and used by any technology, Microsoft technologies or Java environment technologies or other open source technologies. It's better to learn HTML, any framework, CSS framework, JavaScript, and React.js. సో రియాక్ట్ జేఎస్ వరకు మీరు నేర్చుకున్న తర్వాత మీరు థింక్ చేయొచ్చండి మీరు ఏ టెక్నాలజీ వైపుకి వెళ్ళాలనుకున్నా సో రియాక్ట్ జేఎస్ వరకు కూడా మీరు కామన్గా నేర్చుకోవచ్చు మీరు ఎంత ఎఫర్ట్ పెడితే అంత ఎఫర్ట్ కూడా మీరు వేస్ట్ కాదు కామన్ టు ఆల్ టెక్నాలజీస్ సో మై సిన్సియర్ రిక్వెస్ట్ అండ్ అడ్వైజ్ ఈస్ టు లెర్న్ వన్ ఫ్రేమ్వర్క్ అండ్ వన్ లైబ్రరీ సో ఆ లైబ్రరీ మీకు రావాలి క్లియర్గా నేర్చుకోవాలంటే కనుక జావాస్క్రిప్ట్ మీకు బాగా వచ్చి ఉండాలండి జావాస్క్రిప్ట్ ఎక్కడ అప్లై చేస్తామంటే హెచ్టిఎంఎల్ ఎక్కువగా అప్లై చేస్తూ ఉంటాం సో ఫైనల్లీ హెచ్టిఎంఎల్ జావాస్క్రిప్ట్ అండ్ బూట్ స్ట్రాప్ మీద ఎక్కువ కాన్సన్ట్రేషన్ పెట్టారనుకోండి సిఎస్ఎస్ మీరు బైపాస్ చేయొచ్చు సిఎస్ఎస్ మీరు నేర్చుకోకపోవడం పర్లేదండి ఇప్పుడు అన్ని కంపెనీలు కూడా బూట్ స్ట్రాప్ డైరెక్ట్గా వాడుకుంటాయి కాబట్టి అప్పటికప్పుడు మిమ్మల్ని ఇంకొక సిఎస్ఎస్ డిజైన్ చేయమని ఎవరు అనరు అప్లికేషన్ పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ వ్యూలో అలా కాకుండా ఏదైనా కొత్త వెబ్సైట్ డెవలప్ చేయవలసి వచ్చింది అనుకోండి అప్పుడు సిఎస్ఎస్ రిక్వైర్మెంట్ ఉంటుంది అంటే లుక్ అండ్ ఫీల్ యూజర్ ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ చాలా బాగోవాలి పిగ్మాలో డిజైన్ చేస్తామండి ఆ పిగ్మాలో డిజైన్ చేసినటువంటి ఆ డిజైన్ తీసుకొచ్చి మనం ఇప్పుడు మన వెబ్సైట్లో పెట్టాలి కొన్ని టూల్స్ పిగ్మా నుంచి సిఎస్ఎస్ జనరేట్ చేసే టూల్స్ ఉంటాయి ఆ వచ్చిన టూల్స్ మళ్ళీ మనం చేంజ్ చేయాలి సిఎస్ఎస్ని అప్పుడు సిఎస్ఎస్ అనేది పర్ఫెక్ట్గా నేర్చుకోవాలని అలా కాకుండా వెబ్ అప్లికేషన్స్ ఉన్నాయనుకోండి సిఎస్ఎస్ ఏమి మీరు లిటిల్ బిట్ ఆ స్టైల్స్ ఎలా ఉన్నాయి నేర్చుకుంటే చాలు ఎక్కువ టైం స్పెండ్ చేయని అవసరం లేదండి కానీ జావా
సార్
స్క్రిప్ట్ కావాలి జావా స్క్రిప్ట్ తోటి గేమింగ్ కూడా డెవలప్ చేస్తాయి ఈరోజు గేమ్స్ మీరు చాలా మంది గేమ్స్ ఆడుతుంటారండి అన్ని గేమ్స్ కూడా పైథాన్ ఆర్ జావా స్క్రిప్టే లైట్ వెయిట్ ఎక్కువ టైం పట్టదండి ఎగ్జిక్యూషన్ అవ్వడానికి బ్రౌజర్లో రన్ అయిపోతుంటాయి యాప్ కూడా అవసరం లేదు అది ఆల్మోస్ట్ ఆల్ గేమింగ్ ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ ఆర్ అసోసియేటెడ్ రిలేటెడ్ టు జావా స్క్రిప్ట్ ఆర్ పైథాన్ సో రిక్వైర్మెంట్ బట్టి ఎక్కడైనా సరే న్యూట్రల్గా యూజ్ చేసుకుంటాం కాబట్టి రియాక్ట్ జేఎస్ విత్ జావా స్క్రిప్ట్ వరకు ప్రాక్టీస్ చేయండి ఇదంతా మీకు టైం పట్టేదంతా ఓన్లీ 20 డేస్ పడుతుందండి ఇక నేను చెప్పేది ఏంటంటే ఒక ఒక గైడ్లైన్స్ ఇవ్వడం అంతే ఇది ఇలా ఉంటుందని చూపడం
సార్
దాన్ని
బూట్
బట్టి
స్ట్రాప్
మీరు ఒక
మనకి
డైలీ 4 to 6 అవర్స్ చెప్పమ్మా
అదే బూట్
హలో
స్ట్రాప్ మనకి
ఓకే
ఇంపార్టెంటా సార్
ఓకే నెక్స్ట్ క్లాస్ కంటిన్యూ చేద్దాం బూట్ స్ట్రాప్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ కదా బూట్ స్ట్రాప్ ప్లేస్లో మీరు సిఎస్ఎస్ మీకు బాగా వచ్చు అనుకోండి ఇంక బూట్ స్ట్రాప్ అవసరం లేదండి సిఎస్ఎస్ మీకు నేర్చుకుని ఉంటే బూట్ స్ట్రాప్ అంటేనే సిఎస్ఎస్ డిజైన్ మన టైం
అంటే
సేవ్ అవ్వడం కోసం ఒక ఫ్రేమ్వర్క్ కింద అవైలబిలిటీ ఉంటుంది కలర్ మార్చాలి ఆటోమేటిక్ కలర్ డిజైన్ ఉంటుంది ఒక బటన్ క్రియేట్ చేసుకోవాలి బటన్ ఆల్రెడీ డిజైన్ చేసి ఉంటుందండి అదే బటన్ మీరు ఓన్గా డిజైన్ చేసుకుంటే సిఎస్ఎస్లో డిజైన్ చేయొచ్చండి సో బూట్ స్ట్రాప్ మ్యాండేటరీ అంటే కాదు కానీ ఇప్పుడు ఏదైనా వెబ్ యాప్ డెవలప్ చేసేటప్పుడు ఒక పేజ్ డిజైన్ చేసేటప్పుడు బూట్ స్ట్రాప్ యూజ్ చేశారంటే వితిన్ మినిట్స్లో అయిపోతుంది వెబ్సైట్ ఆ వెబ్ పేజ్ అదే బూట్ స్ట్రాప్ లేకపోతే కనుక 3 అవర్స్ 4 అవర్స్ అలా పడుతుంటుంది స్టైల్స్ అది మనం ఓన్గా పెట్టుకోవాలి కాబట్టి కానీ రియాక్ట్ జేఎస్కి జావా స్క్రిప్ట్ మ్యాండేటరీ బూట్ స్ట్రాప్ ఆప్షనల్ ఆల్టర్నేటివ్ టు సిఎస్ఎస్ సిఎస్ఎస్కి ఆల్టర్నేటివ్గా బూట్ స్ట్రాప్ వాడుకుంటాం థ్యాంక్ యూ అమ్మ థ్యాంక్ యూ వెరీ మచ్
థ్యాంక్ యూ సార్
Thank you, sir. Thank you
థ్యాంక్ యూ
for your valuable time. Hello, guys. Hope you enjoyed this session. Please fill this form in the chat session. It will be your attendance.
Sir,
The recording will be in the website oceanapps.in. You can access from there. It will be updated in next 2 hours.
sir, daily class timings is same, sir.
Sorry.
Same, 10 to 11.
Okay, so thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Okay, this is the end of the session. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
ఇవన్నీ డీటెయిల్స్ వస్తాయి మీకు నెక్స్ట్. ఇప్పుడు నేను ఓవర్గా చెప్పాను, ఇవన్నీ డైలీ చెప్పే కాన్సెప్ట్స్లో ఉంటాయి. ఎవరో కన్ఫ్యూజ్ అవ్వనవసరం అవసరం లేదండి.
డీటెయిల్గా చెప్తారా సార్?
నెక్స్ట్ రేపటి నుంచి చెప్పే క్లాసెస్ ఇవన్నీ వస్తాయి కదా.
అవును సార్.
ఇప్పుడు మీకు ప్రతి కాన్సెప్ట్ ఈరోజు మీకు ఏదైతే టచ్ చేస్తున్నా అదంతా ప్రతిదీ ఒక 5 మినిట్స్ 10 మినిట్స్ ఎక్స్ప్లెనేషన్ ఉంటుందండి.
థ్యాంక్ యూ సార్.
థ్యాంక్ యూ.